Hey guys, and welcome to a live stream. And evidently, I have decided to do a live stream in the middle of a storm. It has just literally started storming its ass off here in Nashville. But oh well, we're here. We're going to do it regardless. If everything goes black, then you'll know we got either struck by lightning or it struck very close by, and we aren't here anymore. Or we lost power, one of the two. There is this thing that goes on with, and I joke about it all the time in our neighborhood, where it's like the power goes out when the wind blows. I don't know what that's all about, but it does happen. That's probably what it is there, Jay. That should have gotten rid of it. You shouldn't be hearing it now. So how's everybody doing? It's been a while since we did a live stream, so I thought, now would be as good a time as any. I do have sort of a reason, besides, answering any questions that you guys want answered or anything like that, is there is a new episode of the podcast coming up tomorrow. And I feel as though maybe I may need to slightly preface the podcast tomorrow. It is a lot about me. And I say throughout the podcast a few times that it's very important to me that maybe you guys hear what I have to say and what I'm going to be doing and what I'm going through and some changes that I'm going to be making, and that maybe you can apply that to yourself and say, okay, what, oh my God, did y'all see that? Did y'all see that through the curtain? Yeah, it's getting serious around here. We are liable to go dark at any moment. And that is lightning and that is thunder. And there's only about $600,000 worth of equipment in this room. So if it all goes bad, then it all goes bad. That's what we have insurance for, right? But anyway, I'm hoping that maybe you can take some of what that I'm going to be talking about in tomorrow's podcast and say, you know what, it's okay for me to make changes. It's okay for me to do things differently as well. So tomorrow when you're listening, I would say listen with an open mind, with an open heart. I'm going into 2020 completely differently than I have probably ever gone into a year. I'm changing a lot of different things about my personal life, about my business in particular. But yeah, so it's going to be, and it's a longer episode than normal. It's like 30 something minutes. And in all honesty, for me to have said what it was that I needed to say and what I was going to say should have taken 10 minutes. And it's the longest episode we've had in a long time. So, yeah, but I just want to put that out there. There are a lot of you that, I'll hit a little bit on it. I'm going into three different parts. The YouTube channel, the podcast, and artist development. I am breaking them up a little bit because, quite honestly, I am bored. I'm bored to death with the music business. I've been doing it for 25 plus years, and I'm bored with it. I get sick of talking about it. I want to help you guys as much as possible. I'm not going and getting away from it completely, but I am going to be getting away from it a little and focusing on other things that I like and that I enjoy, the equipment and stuff like that, producing, getting into more of the stuff that I do love and less so much about artist development, because that's all going to have a place. And if that's what you follow me for, if that's what you watch my videos for, if that's what you listen to the podcast for, the podcast is still going to have some of that in it. but there's going to be a place for all of the artist development stuff. And it's just not going to be my primary focus anymore. So I go into great detail, as you can tell. Tomorrow is 33 minutes and 13 seconds or something. So I go into a great detail about it tomorrow. It's good to have you guys here, though. Let's see. Jay Papa's here. We've got Johnny Freeman. We've got Kevin Brown. What's up, buddy? We've got Trey Darbone in here. I know that I'm 42. I still want to call him Mr. Darbone. Trey, and it's like I cannot say Trey. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to say it. Trey was my teacher in Little Rock, Arkansas. What grade was it? I think it was 6th grade, 7th grade. Was by far the best teacher I ever had, bar none. And so it's good to have you here, Trey. It's sometimes it's hard for me to believe how long I've known people. Kevin Brown in the chat right now. Kevin and I have known each other since we were 3 years old. So it's good to see a lot of your Music Gear Network. What's happening, guys? Slide in before dinner. Good to see you too, my man. Andreas Ringblom. Hello from Denmark. What time is it in Denmark? Are y'all at 6 hours, 7 hours ahead of us? But one of the things that I did not talk about in the podcast yesterday that I do want to get to is I do want to do more live streaming because I enjoy it. I actually enjoy this. There's a lot of what I do that I don't enjoy, just being real with you. After you've done anything for so long, it just gets old. I was telling somebody the other day, about songwriting. Songwriting doesn't turn me on anymore. It's how I've made an extraordinary living, but it doesn't turn me on anymore. So, things can just get mundane and you can get so focused on something. But Charles Thorne, hello from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Good to have you here, Charles. I want to focus, and I'm hoping you guys will want to take this ride with me. I have this belief system that I'm just a normal person. I'm not saying that I view myself as special, but I feel that I'm pretty normal. I'm pretty average. So the things that I like and the things that I have an interest in, I would think that and hope that you guys have an interest in as well. But I want to focus, especially the YouTube channel, is going to turn into more of a focus of things that I'm passionate about. For those of you that know me very well, cinematography has been a passion of mine for many years. What started when I first started my record label 15 years ago, I had financial investors that wanted to invest a shit ton of money into the record label. And then when we signed all the artists and we did everything, they didn't want to spend any money. I made the label successful in spite of them, but they didn't want to pay for music videos to be shot. They didn't want to pay for a fucking thing. I'll just put that out there. That's the way people with money are. Silent investors are always silent until they write you the first check. And then they're not silent anymore. Then they have a lot of stuff to say. But so we had to learn to do all of that because we were not going to not do music videos. So I had to learn camera systems and all about RED cameras and ARRI cameras and cinematography and dollies and lenses and an editing program. I had to learn all that. Well, in the process, I fell in love with it, and I absolutely loved it. I have shot commercials and videos that you guys have seen on CMT and MTV that you never knew I had anything to do with. But that is a huge passion of mine, and I really want to explore more of that in the upcoming year. I just got a call last night about shooting a really big music video. I'm going to a thing tomorrow to talk with the record label and give them my idea of how I want to do it. So I'm going to be focusing more on that, and I hope you guys will take this ride with me because even in the producing, and I'm going to be real honest with you, I'm probably going to produce 4 or 5 records a year from now on. I'm only going to produce artists that I want to work with. There's not any more of this contact, and then if you've got the money, then I'll produce your record. I'm not doing that anymore because I just don't care. It just doesn't excite me. I agreed to do a record last week that I'm really excited about. I've been talking with this artist for 2 years. We've been going back and forth, and the time has come that we're now going to do it, and I'm really pumped about it. I'm really excited about it. You'll be hearing all about that. This last year, I've been working with Shane Stevens. I'm still going to continue to do that because I love Shane and I believe in Shane. And matter of fact, we have a new album coming out. It goes up for pre-order on the 20th. It's called Hillbilly Bar. It's an amazing EP, y'all. It'll be, like I said, it goes for pre-order on the 20th, so in just a few days. And then it comes out on January 10th. And I love working with Shane. And unless an artist comes along that fits into the mold of Shane or Danielle, this new artist I'm going to be working with, it's very difficult. I've been working with an artist in Chicago for the last year and a half, and I've developed a real friendship and a bond with him. We work very well together. The style of music is completely different than anything that I have ever done. It's more Chicago blues style, and I love doing that. Basically, what I'm saying is that it's going to have to interest me at a passion level for me to want to be involved with it or for me to want to do it. I have done things so long for reasons of whether it be, reputation or financial gain or any of that. I have done all of that for years and years and years. Now I'm going to do stuff that I want to do. And I don't know what direction totally that's going to take me, but it's going to take me to a happier place. Because one of the things that I talk about in the podcast is music business related is here lately on YouTube, there are so many people that are in the music business space, and they're all, they piss me off when I watch them, and I'm not going to compete in that space with these people. They have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. They know that talking about these things, because there's so many artists and songwriters that want to be successful, they use those keywords and they use those things to develop large followings whenever they have never done in the real world what they're telling people on YouTube how to do. They've never done it. And I'm not going to waste my time creating content that competes with somebody that is a complete bullshit artist. Now, some people might say, well, Steve, then you need to be out there and you need to be providing. I've done it. I've done it for 3 years. But that is why we are going to be doing the Artist Development Academy. I've been working on this for the better part of 2 years. And all of our music business related stuff, all of the artist development stuff, all of that is going to live at the Artist Development Academy. What is the Artist Development Academy, you ask? Well, glad you asked. It's basically, it was my idea to take something, everybody's heard of Masterclass, right? Well, the Artist Development Academy is going to be the Masterclass for the music industry. And there will be an online course every month on a different subject. And there are some big ones coming. And taking from the Masterclass kind of philosophy, I'm bringing in other hit songwriters, other multi-platinum, Grammy-nominated and winning producers, booking agents from the top booking agencies in Nashville and Los Angeles, the heads of publishing companies, A&R executives from major labels that are going to be coming in and teaching these courses and talking to you about how to be successful in the music business. If you want to get a major label record deal, I'm going to have somebody from a major label tell you this is what we're looking for. Now go out and do it. And then I'm going to have specialists come in and talk to you about when they tell you you need to do A, B, and C, we're going to bring in specialists that are the best in their field at showing you and teaching you how to do A, B, and C. So rather than me making a YouTube video every week and putting it out and competing with these absolute morons that I absolutely can't stand. And if anybody can guess who they are, feel free to type them in chat. I don't mind calling them out by name, but I'm trying this new thing to not be such an asshole. Believe it or not. I'm trying desperately. I'm trying very, very hard. But I'm not going to compete in that space. My time is too valuable. And, you know, there's a whole thing from the Bible that's whether you're a believer or not, you shouldn't cast your pearls before swine. And that I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to create content for people who are measuring my content against somebody who has no credits on All Music, but somehow they're a producer. I saw one just start a YouTube channel a few weeks ago. Every video he talks about how he's done this top 40 rock record and this, that, and the other, but he never says what it was or what it is. He never because it's not fucking real. And I cannot deal with that anymore. And I'm not going to spend my valuable time creating content and putting content out to put up against those people because they may look flashy. They may have big pompadour hair and they come on and they do all this shit to get your attention on YouTube. That ain't me. And I'm not going to do that. I believe in giving you honest, real, truthful information to help you in your journey, whether it's be a successful artist or songwriter or just help build your business. So that's what I'm going to focus on. And then all of the artist stuff, all of the music stuff, that will all live within the Artist Development Academy. We're going to have a legal database of all kinds of different contracts that you can download to help you for free. It's included with your membership. There's going to be a community forum where you can get on there and post some of your work. You got a song you're working on, post it in the community and get feedback from industry pros, other hit songwriters, producers, engineers, mixing from everybody or from the community itself. Find co-writers and collaborators from all over the world. So the community is going to be a huge aspect of it. Plus, we will have weekly webinars and live streams for Artist Development Academy members only. And you will have one-on-one access to me. So if you want to, and other industry insiders, if you want to send us something you're working on for us to give you your feedback on, that's included in your membership. So that's a brief overview of what it's going to be like. I'm really anxious. We're going to launch this on February 1st. If you would like, I wonder if it'll let me do this. I don't know if some people can't post links in the thing, but I wonder if it'll let me. If you want to learn more, oh, holy hell, it did let me do it. I think. It didn't on, oh, that's kind of cool. It didn't let me on YouTube. I wonder why. Maybe I have to do it directly on YouTube. There is a link that I'm posting, and you can go check it out, read a little bit about it, but we're going to launch it on February 1st. And I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be awesome. Let's see here. Oh, it did let me do it. Oh, sweet. So it is there. All right. That's cool. Ismail, do you work in Latin music? I do not. Latin music is something I have never done before. Not against it. It's just something that I've not ever done. Awesome, Ray. Good to see you here, brother. Johnny, that's why we're here. Yo. Okay, cool. So all of that is going to live in that area. So if you got the link, you can check out the link. That's where it will be. My goal is going to make it as well, the goal is to make it extremely affordable, which it's going to be. You'll be able to have a monthly membership or you can pay for the year all at once. And I think they're even doing a stretch pay where you can pay for the entire year over 3 months. And literally, guys, it's I mean, I can't say it's nothing because that makes me sound pretentious, but it's going to be like $220 a year. And there's going to be at least one online course every month. So that's 12 online courses, plus all of the exclusive content, the members forum, all of the legal database. All of that is included with your membership. It is a la carte. And to kick this off is kind of why I started and did the Artist Development Masterclass. that I know some of you are making your way through now, and that is a 7-week course that is all about the honesty that I know about artist development, how to grow. It's all included in there, and I would love for you to take the masterclass. It's free for now. It will not be free February 1st. I can assure you and promise you that. So if you want to be able to take the Artist Development Masterclass, let's see. Since I know I can do these links now, I can throw these links in the chat. There's a link right there. It's absolutely free. Sign up, create your username, your password. The first 3 lessons are available now. I dripped this course so that it would take 7 weeks. Why? Because there's so much information in this Artist Development Masterclass that I didn't want you guys trying to sit down and do this like in 7.5 hours, because the total thing, it's long. Each one's about an hour. And I really wanted you to be able to have the week to go back and rewatch it or really get the content out of it and really let it soak in. Once it has completely rolled out through all 7 weeks, then those of you that have signed up for it, you can go back and watch them all in succession or whatever order that you want. So if you're not taking the Artist Development Masterclass and you want to, it's totally free for now. February 1st, it will not be free. It will be a part of the Artist Development Academy. So that course will then live inside the Artist Development Academy, and it will be available for members there only. So there you have it. Now you don't even need to listen to the fucking podcast. I go into a lot more detail. It's a lot more personal stuff tomorrow. One of the questions that I posed on tomorrow's episode of the podcast, which I think would be great to ask here, and that is, I was talking with Bandrew Scott the other day, he's got a huge YouTube channel, and we were talking about, do video podcasts work, or should podcasts just be audio? I wanted to pose the question to you guys because the audio versions of the podcast far outnumber the video views when I put them up on YouTube. It's literally like 75,000 to 200. I put the video version up and 200, 300, 400, maybe 1,000 views, but every episode of the audio is 50,000 minimum. So do you guys even care about me doing the video versions of the podcast? Or are you happy with it just being audio? And this is what I told Bandrew the other day. I said, I'm starting to think that there are video YouTube people than there are podcast people. And podcast people like podcasts to be just podcasts. They like them to be audio. They don't really give a damn one way or the other about the video aspect of it. And people on YouTube are not necessarily podcast fans, they're video fans, and so if the content's available in video, then they may or may not consume it. So I'm anxious to hear you guys' thoughts. Do you guys care whether or not I do video versions now that we have a complete video podcast studio over there at the new offices? Do you guys even care? Would you rather it just be audio? Music Gear Network says video versions are cool. Yeah, they're cool, but are they worth it? Because it's a lot of work, man. The way that I do it is a lot of work. And, it's like I worry about the cameras. I worry about the monitors. I worry about everything else. And then it's, shooting it. And then it's editing it. And then I'm all up for it. I mean, we've been doing it for a year. So I'm completely fine with doing it. I just want to know that if we're going to continue to do it, if we're putting it out there and people actually appreciate it and people actually want it. Otherwise, I'll put my time into something else, that's better. Awesome Ray says, the audio is great when I'm driving or in the gym, but I love the YouTube video versions and your facial expressions are hilarious. Well, yeah, you don't get that on the video versions that are on the audio versions. That's for sure. Charles says, I prefer listening to the audio because I can listen to it at 1.5 speed and still understand everything in less time. Okay, that brings up something else. Johnny Freeman says, I vote for video. Okay, well, fuck. You bastards. Swear to God, y'all are going to run me ragged. I'm just going to drop dead in the studio one of these days over a video podcast for you guys. All right, so obviously video will keep doing it. Trey says, if I have to choose, I prefer audio because I can listen in the car. Leave it to Mr. Darbone, the smartest guy in the room, to interject some reality here. All right, so video will stay, which makes me feel better considering I've spent no telling how many thousands of dollars on the new podcast video studio. So, okay, we'll stay with it. We will keep with it. I want to get to Charles's comment here because I had somebody comment on a YouTube video today that was saying how good they appreciated the quality of my audio because they listened to it at 3 times the speed. And it still sounded good. I probably don't sound very good. I probably sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks. But why do you guys do that? I was noticing the other day, looking at a podcast where that was an option to speed it up to like 1.5 times, 2 times, 3 times. What's the benefit of that? Is it really just so you can listen to it faster? And so are you still able to is that what it is? Is it one of those things where it's like, okay, like when I leave here, I know it's a 10-minute drive to the office. Actually, it's 15 minutes because I have to stop by Starbucks, get my coffee, visit with the baristas for just a minute, and then so it's 15 minutes. So if somebody puts up a podcast, is the reason that I would put it on 1.5 times, like if it's a 30-minute podcast, if I put it on twice the speed, that means I'm going to get to consume it in my entire 15-minute drive? Is that why it's there? I've never understood that. I've never known why that was there. Is that what you guys... Okay, Eli says, because I don't want to listen for 2 hours. But does it annoy you? Does it not bug you with the sound the way that it is, the way that it does? It doesn't bug you at all? Like, that doesn't bother you? See, I think that would bother me. Maybe it's because I think too much and too hard about the quality of it, that it's like, you mean there are people, I'm thinking and putting so much work into this, and there are people out there listening to me sound like a chipmunk. But hey, if you're consuming the content, it doesn't really matter, right? It shouldn't matter to me if you listen to it on 10 times speed. Okay, so the more you can hear in a period of time, the more you'll enjoy it. Charles says at 1.5 speed, your voice is not distorted and still very understandable. Okay. Well, y'all know what I'm doing tonight. I'm going to pull down a podcast, and I'm going to listen to it at 1.5 and 2 times speed. And Eli says at 1.5, it's still not distorted. Okay, I'm going to try that. I'm going to try it. Why not? There are several podcasts that I enjoy listening to that I can see the purpose of that. I can see, okay, it gets through a little bit faster. I can get to the good parts and it doesn't take as long. I got it. Speaking of, I don't think that it's on Apple Podcasts yet, but if any of you guys, I know it's going to sound weird coming from my mouth, but if those of you that know me, it's just me. But there is a buddy of mine in Cincinnati, and he has a new podcast called Talking Worship. If you are a Christian artist or a worship leader in your church or in your church's band or whatever, his podcast is, which I'm not. Charlie's a friend. Charlie Hines is a friend, so I want to put his podcast out there. It's called Talking Worship. Check it out if that's kind of your world, the worship scene. It's a great podcast. Charlie is, he's been recognized as like one of the top 5 worship leaders in America. So he knows what he's talking about in a realistic approach to music for churches and music for congregations. It's a great podcast. The thing I like about it is, even though I don't go to church and I'm not involved in all that, I find things that I can take and apply to me when I listen to his podcast. So you guys check it out. It's called Talking Worship with Charlie Hines. Plus, I swear to God, I could just listen to Charlie read the phone book. He's just got one of those voices that he's very soothing but check it out. Talking Worship with Charlie Hines. And I've got to find some more podcasts to listen to. I really like podcasts. I really do. I'm finding now that we're going into having our podcast now well over a year, that I appreciate the people that do them. I appreciate the amount of time that it takes. And so it's like I want to listen at, as much as humanly possible. So I enjoy it. So I'm going to, if anybody has any podcasts out there that's like, oh, Steve, you need to check this out. Let me know. Type it in the chat. Type the name of the podcast in the chat, because I would love to check it out. Johnny says, I do that on Audible. It doesn't make it chickmunk-ish. Oh, the other thing while we're talking about podcast, guys, we are now inside, you've heard me say it, and I'm proud of it. We are now inside Apple's top 200 podcast for music. We want to stay there. So if you haven't left a written review, please go to iTunes or Apple Podcast and leave a written review and rate it 5 stars. That helps us stay inside that top 200. Specifically on the podcast, in this coming year, we're going to have an abundancy of guests. That is one of the things that has been important to me, even if it's just taking some of the load off of me, is bringing in some people that I have a relationship with, that I really think can be valuable and provide some valuable information. James Otto is going to be on the podcast in January. We were actually supposed to do it last week, and our schedules got kind of messed up, so we decided we were gonna wait and do it in January. But James is going to come on, talk about the new music he's making, and we're going to talk cars, because we're both car guys. We're going to talk about cars. We're going to talk music business. We're going to talk songwriting. I mean, the guy wrote what will, In Color, will probably go down as one of the best country songs of all time. So I'm sure we'll talk about that. We'll talk about all that stuff. Billy Falcon, my buddy Billy, is going to come on the podcast. We're going to talk about all the work he's done with Bon Jovi and all of the smashes he's written with them, and just being best friends and working with John Bon Jovi for the last better part of 30 years. You will not want to miss that episode. I can promise you that. And Billy's just a great guy, just a smart guy, really, really, really smart guy. And then I'm working on some other people from CSAC. I'm going to have some guests on from CSAC to talk about PROs, talk about songwriting. And then I'm going to bring in some outside business people that have absolutely nothing to do whatsoever with the music business. I'm trying to book and get my buddy Tom Dowd on. Tom co-owns Performance Inspired with Mark Wahlberg, the actor. He was believe he was, there's so many initials, but I think he was the former CEO of GNC Stores, but he is now the co-owner of Performance Inspired with Mark Wahlberg, and he also is a co-owner in several Wahlburgers. I want to have Tom on to talk about business, just talk about business strategy and different things. We've been talking and messaging back and forth about getting together, and we're trying to get our schedules on the same wavelength. A lot of this is me. It's my issue. I am so disorganized right now. I'm going through this. I think male menopause is real. Matter of fact, I know it is, and I think I'm going through it right now. And I'm just so completely scatterbrained, it's not even funny. But anything and anybody that you guys would like me to have on the podcast, nobody is really out of my reach. So, I mean, I can get whoever we want. And anybody that you guys think you might want to learn something from, or somebody that you would just, like to hear. One of the things that I want to do with upcoming guests on the podcast is I don't want to ask the same bullshit questions that everybody else asks. I really want to get down to dealing with, talking with the human on the other side of the table, not just the professional, not just the business person, not just the artist, but the actual human being, and have real conversations. Because that, to me, when I see somebody open up and I see somebody build something from the ground up and who they are, that just is inspiring to me. So that's kind of what I want to provide. That's more of what I want to do. So, kind of following back up on what we were saying earlier, the podcast is still largely going to be music business stuff. But I'm going to start expanding it into other topic areas, into other things. Because that, I just have other things that I'm passionate about that I want to get out, that I want to talk about, that I want to explore. So I'm trying to do as little work as humanly possible over the next couple of weeks, and really slow down and try to take some time to recharge the batteries, because they are running low. I can tell you, they are running low. Because I want to be rejuvenated. I'm really excited about the new year. A lot of changes are coming, but they're changes that I am deciding to make. None of these changes have been imposed on me, like I have to do this or I have to do that, but they are decisions by choice. So I'm looking forward to it. And, getting to know each one of you guys better. That's a big part of it as well. Dwayne says, you have no idea. I'm so organized with my disorganization. Trust me, I'm there. This room is so unorganized. If you could see over here, y'all would think I was a hoarder or I was crazy. I'm not even lying. There is so much shit right here. It's just unreal. And there's enough room for everything. So, one of the things that we are going to get way deeper into is gear. I really am going to start talking about more gear. My favorite gear, new gear. I've got probably 13 boxes of gear downstairs that have not been opened. They've been accumulating in a corner for the better part of 3 weeks. And so I'm going to do a lot of videos and a lot of podcasts talking about some really cool new gear. And like I said, we're really going to get into camera and cinematography type stuff, because that's what interests me. And if I'm going to take the time to do something, I'm going to take the time to do something that I'm interested in. I see you guys putting some titles of podcasts. I'm screenshotting that so that I will know. For Legal Issues, Entertainment Law Update by Gordon Filemark is an excellent podcast. Hey, all the legal, you cannot overstress the need for good legal help. So I will definitely check that one out. I've been finding some new YouTube channels that I'm really enjoying as well. He was in here earlier, Music Gear Network. Absolutely love what those guys are doing. Just some really great stuff. If you are a Line 6 Helix fan, just a guitar nerd down to your bones, you've got to check out Music Gear Network on YouTube. I believe he's got a podcast as well, but go subscribe to that YouTube channel. Bandrew Scott, great microphone reviewer. So there's a lot of stuff out there that I'm finding that I'm interested in. And if you're not careful, YouTube can be a freaking wormhole, man. I mean, you can look up one thing and you can be gone. Literally. I mean, like, I went down a rabbit hole the other day, and I didn't even get to the end of it. I got 3/4 of the way down, and I'm like, where has the day gone? I have things to do. And I just completely got lost. Trey says, maybe I can help separate you from your gear. Hey, I sent some of it to Bandrew. He is now the proud owner of 2 API 512C 500 modules and a Rupert Neve R6 lunchbox. They are headed to him as we speak. I dropped those off in UPS today. So be watching Bandrew's channel for a review on my old API 512s. I ordered some. I am, and you know, you're not supposed to buy shit this time of year. You know, this is a time of year, it's like we tell the kids, okay, buying is halted. And you know what? It is a side effect of whatever this male menopause thing is. I'm telling you, it's real, and it's a thing, and it happens. And my way through it is buying shit. And I hope that it doesn't last much longer. But I just bought more gear today. But those of us in the music business especially, we love gear. And then you get into this whole podcasting thing, and there's more gear to buy. And you get into cameras and cinematography, and there's more gear to buy. And all of that stuff is almost as bad as computers. Because which I did that too, I just bought another laptop. So but I did that one and I'm going to do a video review on this. I bought the new Dell XPS 15, maxed out the specs on it so that I can edit videos on the go. And I bought this, and I'm going to get shit over this, but I don't care. When you make a shitty product, this is what you get. Less than a year ago, I bought a very, very, very expensive Digital Storm laptop. Like, this thing would run the International Space Station. It's got like a insane graphics card, like a 2080 Ti or not a 2080, it's not that bad. I believe it's the 1080 that's in the laptop, 4K screen, 64 gigs of memory. I mean, this thing is bad. And it has fucking broke 3 times since I bought it. Sent it back to Digital Storm, and then they called me and were like, oh, we can't seem to fix this part. Oh, do you know your screen was broken? And I'm like, the screen wasn't broken when I sent it back to you. So now I'm having, over at where our new offices are, next to us is a place that fixes and repairs computers. So I'm having them put a new screen in it and actually fix what the problem is. So you spend like almost $5,000 on this laptop, and now I'm having to spend more money to get it fixed. So the moral of the story is here, I would not buy anything from Digital Storm. They're supposed to be one of the best custom PC and laptop makers in the country, in the world. It has not been my experience. So I went to trusty old Dell and bought the new XPS 15, maxed out, and it's badass. The 4K Retina display in this thing is just, it's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. And you pair that with like a Samsung 2 terabyte external SSD, this thing will walk through 4K footage, even 6K footage, which I did the other day. It will literally just cut through it like butter without taxing the computer, without shutting Adobe Premiere down. It's awesome. See, this is what I'm talking about. I geek out over equipment and gear. I love it too much. I love it. Eli says, if you're looking for a place to send an old camera of yours, you can get my address. Here's the thing. I don't get rid of cameras. I get rid of a lot of stuff. I still have, and I'm going to show you something badass. Okay, everybody pay attention. This is going to be my tip for those of you that want to save some money but get an amazing camera. Are y'all ready? Nobody's seen this yet. Well, people have seen it. You haven't seen it from me. Take a look at this. Will that focus? Come on, Sigma lens. You can do it, baby. You can do it. Focus. There we go. Check this bad boy out. What do you think that is? This is what I'm going to use to start doing Vlogs. Yes, vlogs are coming to the YouTube channel. What this is, all right, back on me, Sigma, back on me. All right. What this is this is a Sony, I'm going to get it wrong. Sony, I think it's an RX0. And it's technically in their action cam line, but it's not an action cam. This thing will shoot 4K, 24 frames. It will shoot no time limit, so it's not like a DSLR that has a record time limit. There's no record time limit. I bought the cage for it. It's also completely waterproof like a GoPro. But this, if you guys are out there and you love Sony cameras, like, you know, I have every Sony camera they make. I'm a huge Sony fan. It's also waterproof, but this shoots an S-Log, and this camera's footage will match up with an A7 III, A9, A7 R2. It will match up perfectly with any of those cameras. And I bought the cage that goes with it so that I could put a variable ND filter on this thing. We're going to be testing this out over the next few days. I know, I'm a freaking nerd. Tell me about it, man. I know. And this is a little joystick from Sony that you plug into the camera, and you can zoom in, zoom out. You can take the photo, start the recording, stop the recording. This thing, and for those of you that are real camera nerds, it even has a flip-up screen. Check that out. So that's a new Sigma. Come on. Seriously? There you go. So that is the Sony RX0 Mark II. Footage coming to the YouTube channel on this thing. I can't wait. This thing is amazing. It really is. I got my camera bag over there. Oh, no, I took it downstairs. But a lot of new gear that I want to talk about, especially cameras, with all these awesome cameras coming out. It's like I'm really geeking out this time of year. I'm ready for the Sony A7S III, which should be announced literally any day now. So I'm ready for that one. I am that close to buying another Red camera, like that close. So all of the stuff I get too excited. You can tell I get too excited about it, and it turns me on too much to not focus a lot of time on actually spending time on that kind of stuff. Dwayne, sorry, yes, going to be going into DAWs for sure. Pro Tools, Logic, probably some Cubase stuff. We'll get into all of that kind of stuff. We're going to go into microphones, preamps, compressors, all that good junk. So we're going to focus more on that side of stuff. And like I said, camera stuff and all of that. Eli says, I'm hyped to see what this will look like. It looks every bit as good as the Sony A7 III. You couldn't tell if I was using the full frame A7 III or this little camera. The only thing that this little camera doesn't have is continuous autofocus. It does have autofocus, but you have to hold the shutter halfway and then on whatever, and then if you switch directions, you got to hold it down again. If they do a software update and make this little bitty camera have continuous autofocus, it's unreal. It's got internal stabilization. It's amazing. It's a GoPro on steroids is what it is. Oh, by the way, check this out. Those of you that are into cameras, this is going to change your world. I'm going to show you one little thing that this camera has that just blew me away. Come on, Sigma. Let's go, baby. And focus. You see that? You see that right there? That, my friends, is an external mic jack. Yes, you can plug any external microphone that you want into this. You've got a favorite Rode Video Mic Go or Vote Micro or any of the new Deity video microphones. You can plug it straight into this and attach it to the cage. Hashtag not an ad, but Sony should be paying me. Sony never would, though, because of the amount of money. It would be ridiculous for them to ever sponsor me to do anything because of the amount of money I spend with them. It would immediately take the relationship we have and flip it 180 degrees the other direction. So that's probably not going to happen. But yeah, I'm anxious to really do more with it myself and check it all out. Anybody have any questions? Anybody want to talk about anything? You think anybody got a topic in particular that you want to hit on or you want to discuss? Let's do it now. I'm here, by God. Kevin says, ready to come out and get started on the project we talked about. Absolutely, man. We need to do that. You need to start a podcast. You need to start a podcast about Krav Maga and self-defense. I swear to God, y'all, if I could smoke in here, I could stream for hours. I really could. My wife would kill me if I smoked in the house. Well, and even that, Eli, I just don't have time to play video games anymore. I miss that. I miss getting on and streaming and playing some Fortnite or playing Call of Duty or Gears of War. I miss all of that. I just don't have the time to do it the way that I wish that I did. And I'm hoping breaking things up into these segments, that's what I'm going to be able to do, is actually have more time to be able to do, some things like that. Oh, speaking of, wait till you guys see this new desk that I got at the office. It's a part of the new YouTube setup, the new YouTube studio. When I upload videos, it's almost wrong for me to feel the way that I feel about this desk. It's almost immoral. But I love it. Music Gear Network says, I'd love to do a show with you in early 2020, and gear will be a huge part of it. Cameras on. You're on, man. I'm down to do anything with you, man. Totally down. Trey, let's me and you do a podcast on guns. Would you be up for, do you just want to listen to something about guns? Because I would totally do a podcast about guns. Kevin is also somebody we could bring in on that. That I have not thought about that, Trey, but that is a really, really good idea. That is a very good idea, actually, because I am a gun enthusiast. I own lots of them. Kevin owns lots of them. And I could probably go down here and get some people at Royal Range to be a part. Yeah, that's a done deal. That is one of the things that with the podcast, Lipson came to me about starting a network. So I actually have a network within Lipson. Freeman Creative Media is a podcasting network within Lipson. So I can start and have as many different podcasts and different podcast hosts and all that under the network as I want. And I've been trying to think of other podcasts that I wanted to start. I had not thought about that one, but I love that idea. Love the idea of a podcast about guns. Love it. Yeah, we could go shoot. That could be an audio and video thing where we go out and we shoot. I'm loving it. Keep these ideas coming. Keep them coming. Good idea, Kevin. We could go out, film shooting them. I'm all in. Loving it. I'll have a name for it, a YouTube channel, an email, and a website done in 30 minutes after I'm done. But yeah, I'm totally up to do something with you, Music Gear Network. I'm totally, you just let me know when, and I'm there. We can totally do it. We can hit on all that stuff. Cameras, audio gear, guitar gear, and more. Here's one thing. Here is something that kind of, and with Music Gear Network in here, I have produced records that just about to surpass the 20 million sales mark. I have done many of them using Rode products. And those people hate me. I've never done anything, and I have spent so much money with Rode, They've never given me a microphone. They've never given me shit. I've bought everything Rode that I have. Those people will not give me the time of day. And I logged onto your channel the other day, and I'm like, they just sent this dude a box full of shit. Somebody tell them. Matter of fact, today I was telling Bandrew, I went to unplug one of my Rode. What is it? Rode. They're losing me with all the names of the shit. The microphone, the Procaster. No, that's the Rodecaster Pro. I think the Procaster's a microphone too. Anyway, I have 3 of those. I went to unplug it, and the entire guts of the inside of the microphone came out when I unplugged the XLR. I'm not joking. It was kind of weird. It was kind of gross, and it was kind of weird. And I don't know why that happened, so I'm going to have to end up replacing that microphone as well. But that's for another time. Let's see. I'm loving these ideas you guys are bringing in. I love it. Keep them coming. The podcast about the guns. I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. I'm even searching to see if a domain name's available, right? See, this is how I think. Somebody gives me an idea, and I am on it like white on rice. Love it. Love the idea. Eli, I certainly will. When I get back into it, I am going to get into it. Me, you, and Cam, we all got to join up for some games for sure. Yeah, it's the Procaster. I went to unplug it, and the whole thing just right out the bottom. I've never, 20-something years owning microphones, I've never had that happen, but the whole little coil, everything. I was like, wow, okay. And that is so unlike Rode stuff is amazing. They are really, really, really amazing products. All of their microphones are really, it was probably me. It was user error, I guarantee you. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm saying anything bad about Rode. Lord knows, I mean, like it's going to stop them from sending me free shit. But that ought to tell you something. I do like it enough that I end up buying it. So I can't. It's good stuff. Like I said, user error. Totally user error. It's not going to happen to yours. I probably pulled too hard on it. That is probably what happened. I'm willing to admit that is probably exactly what I did. Y'all are gonna have to give me some more podcast. I'm like really pumped about that. That is a really good idea. So yeah, some changes, some things are going to be happening. Hope you guys are cool with it. The episode tomorrow, the podcast will go live at like 8:00 in the morning. So the Road Warrior. I like it. I like it. So it should be available everywhere you get your podcasts at 8:00 in the morning Central. I know some of you guys are all over the world, so I have no idea what time that means for you. But it'll be 8 a.m. Central. And for whatever reason, it takes like an hour and a half for it to go longer on iTunes and Apple Podcasts than it does everywhere else, even though this episode's been submitted for way more than 24 hours, whatever that is, it just is. So if you're listening on Apple Podcasts and iTunes, probably 9:30-ish is when it'll go live. Eli says part of your vlogs do mukbangs at random eateries across the country when you're traveling. Now, I understand this is a thing. It is a real thing. My daughter watches these things on YouTube constantly. these mukbangs. I have yet to have somebody explain to me exactly what a mukbang is. What does it mean? What does it stand for? I mean, I know like my daughter watches it and they go to like Taco Bell and they get one of everything on the menu and they just eat the food. But I'm definitely up for it. I have no idea what I'm going to do on the vlogs. I don't. It's going to come. I'm going to have the camera with me and I'm just going to film shit. Just whatever it is I'm doing. It could be, I will tell you, I don't live as exciting life as some people might think. Because I look around and go, this is going to be a boring-ass vlog. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it one way or the other. Mainly because I want to try on this camera. But there's some cool and exciting things that happen that I do want to share with you guys that just, I don't ever think about them beforehand. But when I'm engrossed in it in the middle of it, it's like, man, you really should have filmed this because this would be cool. I think people would like that. So that's what the vlogs are going to be about. And hey, shoot me ideas. I'm totally up to do whatever. I don't know if I could do the mukbang thing because I am so picky when it comes to food. I really am picky. If it's not like Mexican food, Italian food, or one or two or three things in the I like sushi. Everybody keeps trying to get me to do sushi. I'm like, no, thank you. I eat a lot of chicken. I'm not a big fish person. Yes, Trey, it's a thing. People, and hold on. And it's not just like a few, it's like millions of people watch people eat. It is a legit thing. Like it's a genre. And some of these people, not just kids, but people, have millions of subscribers. And all they do is drive through restaurants, get fast food, and go sit down, turn the camera on, and eat it live on camera. It's unbelievable. I'm also a little self-conscious when I eat, so I don't know if I could film myself eating. Trey, you and I should do a vlog series where you take me to Louisiana and we go to all of the cool Cajun food places. That's an idea. See, you are giving me a bunch of stuff. Well, that also leads into, I don't even know if I'm supposed to talk about this, but I'm also one of these kind of people that I can't stand when people do that, then they can't tell you. So whether I'm supposed to do it or not, I'm gonna talk about it. One of the things that I'm going to be focusing on this year is creating long form content for other outlets like Netflix and Amazon and TV, like some feature length stuff, some documentary stuff, some episodic television stuff. I think I can say that without saying too much, but I am going to be working on the production and creative side of creating some of those things. So you guys are giving me some awesome ideas that we can do here. I have not had Cajun food. I haven't had real Cajun. I don't even remember the last time. It seems like I was somewhere and they were doing a crawfish boil, but I didn't eat any of it. Again, I'm too picky. Oh, I know you do. Well, do you make your own? Because, or is there a really good Cajun restaurant over there where you're at? I just wouldn't think there would be one where you are. There used to be one here in Nashville, and it may still be there. The name of it's totally escaping me right now. They had great cheeseburgers for a Cajun restaurant, by the way. But it was over there off of, not Demumbrian. I cannot remember the name of it, but it was really good. I'm all for it. I'm all for the remedy. I can't believe that you literally live the distance that you live from me right now, and we've not gotten together yet. We need to do that. We need to get together over some Cajun food. I'm totally up to do that. It's been too long. We need to catch up anyway. Oh, you're back in Louisiana. Like visiting, or you're back in Louisiana? When did that happen? See, well, let me tell you all something that I did. Some of you that follow me on social media, I went into Facebook the other night and I deleted 700 friends. Just flat removed them. Because I noticed that when I'm posting things and when other people are posting things, I'm not seeing the things that they're posting, and they weren't seeing what I was posting. So I just went in and got rid of a bunch of people that I just don't give a damn about. Or that piss me off. You know, you friend each other on Facebook because you're in the same business or you know each other, but they really bug you. And I noticed that I was friends with a lot of people on Facebook that just really bugged me, and I didn't want to see their shit anymore. So I dumped like 700 and something people, and I've been dumping like 250 people a week on Instagram for like the last 6 months. And so now I think I'm starting to see things from people that I really want to see stuff from. Trey, I had no idea that you left where you were. I had no idea you were back in Louisiana. Are you teaching? Coaching? I had no idea. And I'm sure that's something that had I seen stuff on Facebook, I would have seen. I would think. So are you back in Louisiana as in where you're from in Louisiana? Because I remember where that's at. And these are the exact things that social media are supposed to be good for. So that we can keep up with what's going on in people's lives. That's why I deleted so many people. Because I have an interest in want to know what's going on with people that I actually care about. I just got tired of not seeing and getting updates from people that I do care about. So hopefully now I'll start seeing some of that. There's Shane Stevens. I was talking about you earlier, buddy. Just got home from work. I'll catch up though. Yeah, this should replay on all the outlets. So later it'll be available on demand. You can catch it on YouTube. You can catch it on Facebook and Twitter and wherever the hell else we're live right now. All of those places, I believe. Okay, so Trey, you are where you're from. Okay. So yes, I will come down there. I'll find an excuse. I will come down there. And you can, that way it really is Cajun food from the heart and soul of where it's supposed to come from. Now, see, if I'm going to do it, that's how I want to do it. That to me, if you're going to eat Cajun food, it's got to come from Cajun country. And I'm totally down for that. I would do that in a heartbeat. All right, we've been going about an hour and 10 minutes. Anybody have anything they want to talk about? Anybody have any questions? Football's going to be starting here in just a little bit. How about them Cowboys? Absolutely spanked. Made to look like a redheaded stepchild that wasn't loved from conception. That was such a good game. We finally have a kicker who can put the ball through the two yellow uprights, which is where they were supposed to go. That helped tremendously. I just got your DM. Wow, Trey. It flashed on my phone. I didn't know that either. God, I feel like I'm so out of touch. I'm going to read that. I'll respond to you privately. Wow. 2 things I didn't know. As my daughters would say, there's some tea there. You'll have to spill the tea. Anyway, I'm excited. NFC East it's a joke anyway, but the Cowboys are going to make the playoffs. Big, huge game next week with the Eagles. Really happy about that. The Titans are doing really good. I wish they would have won the game yesterday with Houston. Everybody thought they were going to win it. They almost did win it. They almost came back. I have not been a huge Titans fan, but I'm starting to get into. I'm loving what Ryan Tannehill's doing, so I'm all about the Titans right now. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the Cowboys. Ready for next week's game. We need to beat the Eagles. Got to beat the Eagles. And then Tennessee's got to play Houston one more time, and we have to win that game, which is really weird. I don't know why he did that. I don't know why your same opponents in your division, your conference, I don't understand why we played them this week, then skip a week, then play them again. I think that is, and the Chiefs. Yeah, I do love the Chiefs. Have a good night, Eli. Thanks for joining us, man. MGN, thank you, man. Thank you, buddy. We're going to start doing this more often. I have threatened that we were going to do this once a week. And if it's cool, here's the thing. The reason, I'm honesty here. The reason I stopped doing the live streams was because we used to do them and we'd start them at like 8, 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. That's my fucking time. That's when I want to sit down and do nothing. I want to think about nothing. I want to mindlessly get lost in that big 80-inch screen. That's all I want to do. So that's why but this, how do you guys like this? Is 5:30, 6 o'clock at latest? How's this for everybody? So I could do this. Because I can come home from the office, I can kind of piddle around a little bit, I can get caught up. Everybody else is done with their day, and then I can sit down and we can do a live stream like this. So if the 5 to 5:30, anywhere, let's say 5 to 6, if 5 to 6 is good with everybody, then I could start doing this on a regular basis because I miss it and I do enjoy it. I love connecting with you guys one-on-one, answering your questions, finding out shit that I should have known that I didn't know. I enjoy it. So give me a thumbs up wherever you're watching in the chat if between 5 and 7 or 5 and 6 is a good time. Okay, that's not a thumbs up, but works for me. I'll take it as a thumbs up. And I know that's weird on time zones for people because the people on the West Coast, it's like, at 5 o'clock, it's 3. But then it's also, 6 or 7 on the East Coast. And for those of you in Canada. But that's the time that it works best for me. Works for Shane. I know Shane's on the East Coast. Well, Shane's not on the East Coast, but he's on Eastern Standard Time. Oh, it's Shane. It looks like it's going to be The Ohio State University, by the way. We are about 90% sure at this point. Which means I need to either come back up there or I need to send you an order for stuff. But we think we've dialed in on The Ohio State University for multiple reasons, and then law school at the other place. That's a recent development. Yeah, I've got a kid going to college next year. It's like, oh my God. Hard to believe. We've looked at UCLA. We've looked at NYU, The Ohio State University. She was talking about going to NYU and then going to NYU Law afterward. But now I think that she is zeroing in on going to The Ohio State University for college and then going to either Columbia or NYU for law school, which it makes me and her mother very happy because even though we love New York, Columbus is a hell of a lot closer to Nashville than is New York. It's also closer because who knows, I may be in Los Angeles, which is another thing that's been circling and going around. A lot of stuff happening, folks. A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff happening and going on. All right, well, I don't see any more questions coming through, so I think we shall leave it there. This was good to get back in it, about an hour and 10, 15 minutes. Good to get back in the flow. If you missed it and you're just joining it, it will be on demand. You can catch it on Facebook or on YouTube, on Twitter, anywhere else. If it doesn't, I'll repost it somewhere. But I can also tell that it's about this time when it's time for me to have nicotine. So it's about that time. Guys, thank you for being here. Don't forget, the links are back there in the chat. If you are not taking the Artist Development Masterclass, but you want to take the Artist Development Masterclass, the link is in the chat everywhere. Also, if you want more information on the Artist Development Academy, that is going to open. Membership will start the week before it opens, which is February 1st. If you want more information about that, you can find that link there as well, or you can go to artistdevelopmentacademy.com and you can find out some of the information that we're putting out there. Trey, thank you for being here. Shane, thank you for being here. Charles, Eli, the folks over at Music Gear. Let's see who else we have in here. We've got, I'm scrolling back through the chat. Kevin Brown. Let's see. Dwayne McKnight, thank you for being here, man. Charles Thorne. And I'm sure I'm leaving. Zapper was in here for a second. Thanks for being here, man. Charles Thorne. Ismail was in here. Johnny Freeman. A bunch of different people. I don't have time to go back all the way through them. I mean, I guess I do have time. I'm just not going to do it. Andreas, thank you for being here. Jay Papa was in here. I said Johnny Freeman. That's awesome. Guys, thank you for being here, and we will see you on the next live stream. But don't forget, tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., the Steve Freeman Podcast. Until then, you guys have an awesome evening.